Hey guys, this is Anthony Morganti from AnthonyMorganti.com, and this is episode 192 of Photo Critiques. And in this episode, I'm pleased to critique the work of Adam Peel. Now, Adam tells me that he doesn't have a DSLR yet, and these shots were done with a point and shoot. And you'll see he did a really nice job. And I encourage anyone who, just because you don't have a DSLR doesn't mean you can't enjoy photography, and you could get out and learn some basic composition and take some shots, maybe learn some post-processing, and you could take some really nice shots. And then maybe if you really find that you really enjoy it, you could get a DSLR someday and, really expand your hobby that much more. Now this first shot, it's really a nice composition, very well done. I like the sky and everything, but as I look at it, I could tell right away it's over sharpened. I'm not sure if you could see it in the image or in the video, but I could see up in the sky here, particularly down here around the rocks and the trees, it's really, really over sharpened. Too much clarity and too much sharpness, and it just is kind of it's kind of hard looking, I guess, is the way to put it. And it would really come out if you print this, and you'll see it will look kind of surreal. So back off the clarity and back off the sharpening a little bit. This shot's a nice shot, beautiful sky. We photographers, we often will just shoot the sky like this, and what our aim is, we'll take this shot and put this sky in another photo, because really all we're really looking at here is the sky. It's a great shot though, and down here is nothing. So what we'll do is we'd take the shot, and then we'd use Photoshop and take this sky out and put it in another image. This is a nice shot. I like the idea, and the focus was on here, and this is kind of blurry, but that's okay. But I think what you really need here is a person in a kayak, right in here, just coming down this little channel, going one way or the other, it doesn't matter. And in that case, you might want more in focus, so you'd use a smaller f-stop. Now this isn't relevant to most of us that use a DSLR because it's a point and shoot, so it's a f of 7.7, so it's hard to say 83.8 meters on this point and shoot. So it's hard to say how small that would be or what the actual size would aperture it would be on a DSLR. I don't know, but something f11, and you'd get pretty much the whole scene in focus. And if you had a person in here in a kayak, or a couple people in a canoe, or something like that, I think it would really add to the shot. It's a really nice shot, very well done. A couple things. I like the composition. It's very striking. We have this part right here is just like there's nothing there, and that's okay. I mean, it's not that major of a thing, but I think the shot could have been just a little stronger if, I don't know, this terrain here, if you could have got down here more, and you could still have some of these weeds in the foreground, but they wouldn't be taking up about a quarter to a third of the frame, so you just have them blurry in the foreground. They'd be a lot closer, so they'd be down here, and then you'd have more of the rest of the shot. But even so, this is a very, very strong shot. Very well done. This is a nice shot for what you had to deal with. The lighting, as you can see, is really harsh. We have some harsh shadows, and that's really hard to deal with. Usually on this, we'd want this more flat, lit a little flatter, so there's not any harsh shadows being cast across the subject. Also, because it's a point and shoot, you really have a hard time controlling where it focuses. With a DSLR, you have to focus right on the snake's eye, and if you focus on the eye and you use a relatively smaller aperture around f8, you'd get the entire snake really crisp and clear. And then, like I said, you have these harsh shadows, so you'd hopefully have the sun behind your right shoulder, and I think it would really help the shot a lot. This is a nice shot. This is 1/4 of a second at f8.3. Again, it's a point and shoot. It's a great shot. I'm not sure you could have did much better with the DSLR. It's a nice shot, very well done. This one isn't really over sharpened like that first one, so this one's more natural looking, and it's a really nice shot. We don't, we have the hillside with the pine trees, and we have the mountains, the rocky cliffs here. But there's not much else in the scene. The sky's okay, but if we had something else in the scene, if you could work this scene and get a foreground element in the shot, even if it's just a rock, or if it's, you know, some just wild flowers that are sprouted up in front here. Something to give a little more of a foreground element that would add to the shot. Now this one's over sharpened. I could tell just by as soon as it you know, came in on the screen. You could just see that it's just kind of real hard looking, and just too much clarity, a little too much sharpening. Just got to back those off a bit. Now as far as the composition, I'll go back to what I said about the previous one. You know, we got water and we got the shoreline and we got a sky. So we need something else. We need something to draw our interest. So we need a boat, we need something in the foreground, something you could work the scene and work it in so we get something else in the foreground to midground area. It's a nice shot. It's, tough with the point and shoot to get the water to blur. So 1/6 of a second might not have been quite long enough. It probably would have looked a little more striking if you could have got a 1 to 2 second, 3 second exposure, maybe even like, real long exposure, like 10, 15 seconds. And you got to experiment. But of course, it's limited with this type of camera. You just can't put it in manual mode and put, neutral density filters over the lens so you could get these longer exposures. This is like that other one. It's a great shot of the sky, very well done. Keep this in your library, and someday when you get the DSLR, you're taking other shots, you get Photoshop, you would take this sky out and you'd plop it in somewhere else. And it's a striking sky, and that's what you would really want to use it for. It's got a little noise in it, but I think it'll be okay. I think that's the last one. Yep. That's it. Thank you, Adam, very much for sharing your work with us. Very talented with a point and shoot camera. You did great. Be hard pressed to even, tell that it's a point and shoot. You did real well. I'd like to thank everyone that watches all my videos. I really appreciate it. If you guys have time, go over to my website, anthonymorganti.com. I have all kinds of photography stuff over there. And it's kind of dominated by critiques because I've got so many in, and hopefully I'll be finishing them up soon. I'll be starting my mentoring program, and then I'll be able to do those other things from my website that I used to do, which would be my Lightroom training videos, my Photoshop training videos, my Elements training videos, write the articles, write a couple articles a week for the website, and all that other stuff that I talk about doing, that I'll be doing, hopefully very soon, hopefully within a couple weeks, maybe within a week actually. So that's it for now. I'll talk to you guys soon.